Okay, perfect. So Tanya, over to you again.
Okay, so we've got stuffed peppers. And so the types of peppers that we want to be using, I call them lucky peppers. It's the kind where it's got a bit more of a curve area so that you could put more shrimp inside. And so the symbolism of shrimp, in Chinese we say ha, and so ha also sounds like you're laughing, ha ha ha. And so it's a symbolism for happiness. And so the more lucky your pepper, it's more rounded, you put more happiness inside of your sweet pepper. And so, so this is actually something that's really simple to make. A lot of times you would actually buy fish paste at your local Asian grocery store, but then just with a few ingredients, I'm gonna show you how to make it on your own. And then that way you can have a lot more control over the ingredients, the salt, and to be sure that there's no additives. And so we have chosen to use shrimp today. You might know this already, but a lot of frozen shrimp has phosphate additives. And where you look for this would be, for example, in the ingredients list on the back of the tape, on the back of the package. So there's a nutrition fact table, and then there's the ingredients list. So most likely it'll say shrimp, salt, tripolyphosphate. So anything with the word phosphate would mean that it has a phosphate additive inside. And if you're trying to watch your phosphate levels, that might be something you would want to watch out for. The key to keeping the paste inside the peppers is to actually put a little bit of the cornstarch inside, like this, so that it doesn't fall out.
So how did you get this paste together?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you how I do that. This is part of the happiness bit too. So first I'm gonna just show you when you can actually get your shrimp already deshelled and then also deveined. But here, I'm just gonna grab a chopstick here. And then what I do is I just kind of poke in here.
Could we get a close-up just to show the group how to clean the shrimp? Because a lot of people don't know how to clean the shrimp.
Yeah.
There's a black line there, if you can see that.
So you just take that out, and then I've used a chopstick here, but you could also use just a toothpick, and you just kind of slip that underneath the black part and kind of scoop it out. And then, so that's it. That's kind of simple. And then you would put that into here. And so I've done this ahead of time for you to make this shrimp paste. But not only is this a very happy dish, but you can also work out any anger that you may have been harboring all week. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so of course you chop it up. And traditionally, I think my dad, he would probably be upset with me that I used a food processor. But traditionally, you're supposed to kind of chop it, and it's gonna turn into a bit of a paste. And then you're supposed to kind of scoop it up, fold it over itself, and continue doing this and chopping it up. And you can get really loud and angry. Work out it's a bit of a workout.
I've seen this done at the sushi store, you know, when they're doing sushi preparation. I've seen the chefs use this technique to get the fish or the sushi ingredients really finely chopped.
Yeah, and then the key with this is just, it's gonna give you that bouncy texture, which is gonna go really well complementing the pepper. And so this is, we call it one of three treasures. So if you were to go for dim sum with your family, you're gonna have the three treasures where it has kind of the shrimp or fish paste that goes inside of the peppers. And so it could be the pepper, it could be eggplant, it could be kind of the inside of a tofu. And so it's very delicious. You'll find it's very common. And so since I've done this, I'm just gonna move this over. And the ingredients, so I actually took this recipe and I've actually modified it a little bit because where it asked for salt, I actually used some aromatics, and then I added some ginger and some garlic, and this is going to add a lot of flavor without the salt. I'm just gonna add that in here. This is optional. I've added a little tiny bit of sugar. And then I've added some aromatic sesame oil. So this is super flavorful, and you don't need a lot. but it's delicious. And there's no salt to this. I'm gonna add a little bit of cornstarch, because that's also gonna hold everything together.
So you're basically kind of making a dough filling, right? Because you've got the moisture, you've got some protein, and then you've got the flour, basically.
Yeah, and then you put a little bit of water also to hold it together. And so I've just, I would put this in the food processor and put it all together. And I've also added some other flavorings like the green onion and also the cilantro. So I've just popped that in here as well.
If you were doing this the traditional way, Tanya, would you be chopping it all up on that cutting board?
I would probably just chop up all the shrimp and then mix it all together. But in the food processor, I just find that it does mix it all together really, really well. And so now you would just kind of meld it all together.
I'm gonna get a...
I actually find it works better when things are super finely chopped, and then you give it a little bit of time.
Would you use this as a dumpling filling too?
Oh yeah, there's no rules.
No
There's
rules.
no rules.
Great.
And so traditionally, I would say we have used, say, pork and shrimp put together, and then you would put Napa cabbage in there, you put ginger, garlic, green onion, and then you could put some rice wine in there if you want to.
Wow,
Yeah.
there's so much flavor, and you never said salt once. Like all of this is just natural, inherent flavors of food.
Exactly, and the thing is, like, this recipe compared to, say, an original recipe that you would find online, it's about half the salt.
Right, right. I think maybe they add soy sauce because it's just easy to create flavor, right? It's easy to salt food, especially in, you know, if you're commercial cooking or large-scale cooking in a restaurant, it just creates a lot of great flavor, but at the cost of a lot of salt. But when you, like you say, are doing this at home, you can definitely adapt these flavors.
You can definitely adapt it to how you see fit. And then in terms of soy sauce, I mean, it is kind of a staple in Asian cooking, and you can definitely choose low sodium soy sauce, so you're gonna get about a 30% savings there if you're gonna be using low sodium soy sauce. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just demonstrate. You wanna pack it to have the most happiness in here. So you're just kind of putting this in here and just cleaning up the edges. So I've done a few of these, and then we can start the...
I've got the oil hot for you here. Can you show us how you fry it?
Oh yeah, that's
Fry it up,
that's important, because I need a lesson in that.
So we put it in on medium heat.
Yes.
And then go ahead. We're gonna do the fish side down.
So Sean, we'll need a shot of the face down effect, right? Like you want to actually grill this with the shrimp side down, which again feels counterintuitive, right? You're like, oh no, there goes the filling. But that's why you had the cornstarch, so that you could paste the filling essentially to the pepper.
So I'm hoping I did enough of it so that it doesn't fall out, right? So we'll see how it goes. But a nonstick pan that is on medium heat would work out really well. And then because, these peppers, the skin is actually a little bit thicker. So after you have the fish side or the shrimp side down kind of until it's golden brown, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes. And if you have a lid, we can actually put that on top because the steam is gonna help that.
You could probably just borrow that lid if you wanted to.
So
it's a bit bigger, but gets the point across.
Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and do that, and then for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then you flip it onto the other side, and then if you find that the peppers are not quite as soft as you would like, just add a splash of water and put the lid on.
Oh, okay, kind of poach them a bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.